watching Plato's Law. Look at the stars. Look at how they shine for you.
Back up, you understand? You're gonna get arrested, you understand?
For what?
Get going!
For what?
Get going now!
Why are you gonna arrest me?
You're gonna get arrested, I'm telling you
I've
right
already
now!
dealt with your sergeant. Thank
You already know that.
I've already dealt with your
I'm
sergeant.
giving you
Thank
fair
you.
warning. You keep following us, you're
I'm
gonna
allowed
get
to
arrested.
follow. Now you're
You
following me.
understand?
Officer Bunkowski grabs Sue's camera and throws it into a neighbor's yard.
Okay? Now go back in your house and you're getting arrested, you understand?
For what? I'm walking around my neighborhood.
Back up, you understand? You're gonna get arrested.
modulations and intonations of my voice, and sometimes it presents higher like it does there. Sometimes it's a little more lower. Like today, I feel like it kind of depends on how I'm dressed and my sartorial attire.
What is sartorial mean?
It means clothing, or yeah.
Very smart. You have that law degree. You are smart.
Yeah, I have that.
Help me out with this one, Alex. I kind of feel like if I was on a date and after we ate, the woman went, the man should pay and slip the bill to me, I'd be like, oh no.
Yeah, I know. I don't like that either. I mean, you just kind of naturally, if you invite the girl out, I think you kind of have to pay. And if you go Dutch on a date, that's just it. That means the date was
Sometimes
bad,
I like, and sometimes in my videos I like to promote open discussion and debate. I feel like that's been lost in the country, and open dialogue and discourse. I think everyone, especially on the left, thinks you need to all agree or think the same way, and if you don't, there can't be a conversation. I like there to be a conversation, and I try to promote dialogue on my page. And so that's something that, I try to do in some of my videos, is promote open discourse and dialogue. And I think a lot of people are outing themselves as bigots, and a lot of people are, trying to have a real dialogue and dialectic, and I think that's great.
I love it, because I love calling out hypocrisy from these people. I think one of the biggest things that we do here at Timcast is criticism of fake news. The media is lying all the time, and it's so frustrating. And I'll preface, it's not all the time. We use corporate news sources for a lot of our sourcing, but we have to double, triple verify. And then it's more so when you find the bias in the fake news, it's heavy. It's the very fine people hoax, things like that, where they accuse Trump of doing things he didn't do. And then, with the stuff I see you're doing, just in a broader context, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, because I feel this way, and I'm sure they do, that you want them to just publicly expose their hypocrisy. When you see that person out pretending to be, supporting of left-wing causes or whatever, and they're hypocrites, they're lying, you want the world to be able to see those lies. And so what I see with your content, and again, it's nothing to do with you, it's the people responding to you, they espouse values that they then do not uphold. And each and every one of these people who comments and says things like, you're not really a woman because I said so. You brought this up a moment ago, Alex. There's two females who made a video saying, what was it like, just boys being silly or whatever?
Yeah, they were OnlyFans girls, and they pretended to be trans, and they got crushed by the trans community.
Saying, stop appropriating my identity and stuff like this.
I think they put like a fake.
They were pretending, and again, I think we need to distinguish between
Were they?
people.
Were they?
Were they pretending?
Yeah, people who are pretending and people who aren't, and the only person who gets to decide if they are is themselves.
Yeah, but if you're
wait, that's the point. These two females who said they were boys, so they're trans men. How dare any of these
women?
Nobody but them can say whether it's genuine or not. And so, I dare anybody to say that they aren't really trans.
And that's the point.
And I dare anybody to prove they aren't trans, or that I'm not trans.
And that's the point. When these individuals made the video, it was it was trans women who insulted, attacked them, and told them to stop. And my response is, the conservatives are all saying these women are just grifting. Grifting's probably not the right word. They're making porn on OnlyFans, and they're doing this because they have a market for it. And my response is, based on gender ideology, they very well may just be transgender. You can't say not.
Are we going to have people policing and deciding whose identity is real and whose isn't? Is that what the left wants? They'll determine if it's real or if it's not. Who is to say that those women's was real or not, what they were doing, the two OnlyFans models, other than them? We can't know, and I think it's wrong for us to assume. And I think in the name of tolerance and open-mindedness, we should trust that people are being genuine and honest. And I think it's wrong to try to police someone's gender identity. I take offense to that, and it's sad that a lot of that policing is coming from the left.
The interesting thing about the gender identity stuff, especially with like New York, is that race falls into the same exact category. Based on how they've legally defined gender, race is protected in the exact same way. And so I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on, we've got a lot of people out there who claim to be one race or another. It's actually a big component of the news cycle in politics right now. Donald Trump during the debate said, I don't care what she is. She said she was black. She put out whatever, I can say that. And now, all of a sudden she's black, whatever. There seems to be a question. Actually,
You have Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah, she's
Rachel.
With the Kamala thing, though, I think that everybody's always agreed that, like, her dad was black, but she just didn't, I guess.
Her dad is Jamaican,
Well, what
I
I'm
believe,
saying-
and her mother's from India.
And maybe I'm wrong, but I think it's that she doesn't kind of emphasize black culture. Like, she doesn't identify as black. Like, people know that she's black, but I guess she would put her Indian culture
Her dad is
before that.
Jamaican, and her mom is Indian.
Can you be transracial, though, like Rachel Dolezal? Do you think that she is
I think
valid?
we should defer to the science on that.
What is the science? Because you can get tan. I mean, I could get tanner. Does that make me black?
I don't know what the science is on that issue. I always, at least with gender identity, prefer to follow and defer and be in line with the science.
What about child gender hormone therapy?
I think...
Oh, wait. I just Google searched Kamala Harris' dad. It says he's Jamaican American of Indian descent.
Yeah, there's.
It's not. Wikipedia is saying he's not black.
Yeah, I said he's
Really?
Jamaican. He's not African American. He's Jamaican. And I
know he's a
believe her
Marxist.
mom is Indian.
Well, it's weird that she doesn't like. She's estranged from her dad right now. And I
His
know
name
a
is
lot of-
Donald J. Harris.
That's crazy.
Donald J. Trump, yeah.
Do you know that her mom's name is Shamala?
Well, you know what I think the weirdest thing is that, and I don't know if you talked about this on your show, but how Veep, Louis, what's her name? Julia Louis-Dreyfus. She's playing the vice president, and in the show, she becomes the 47th president because the older president is like too senile. And it's just weird that is literally happening right now. It's like, it's almost like this is all planned, or like there's people in
It's
charge
hard.
of it.
I want to understand Biden's stance on things, but I have trouble understanding what he's trying to say, and he seems lost a lot of the
I
time.
like Biden now that he put on that Trump hat. I'm
No, I think Kamala Harris's dad is Indian Jamaican mixed.
Yeah, but I believe her mom is also Indian.
And she lives in Canada.
Yeah, so she's maybe like a quarter Jamaican or whatever. I mean, you look at the photos of her dad. I pulled the photos of her dad. It's
But again, nobody can determine
Make it
or
Indian.
decide it except for themselves, and I think it's wrong to try to police that.
All Kamala has to do is say the N-word, and then we'll know. But I haven't ever heard her say that.
that was actually a joke someone made, but it's an interesting point. Who said? Was it Kevin Sorbo who said that?
Did he say that? I didn't see that. I
Yeah,
follow
I think-
Kevin. Kevin's great.
I think he made that point that if Kamala were to say the N-word, would people be offended by it? And the left got offended that he brought that up. And his point was simply like, in rap music and all of this culture, it is considered socially acceptable if you are black to use the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I think he made an interesting question. How would they react? If they would not react favorably, it would be shocking to the press and the public if she were to say such a thing.
I think so. I think people would be
Yeah.
a little offended.
I don't know though. If she was rapping, like if
If she was like rapping lyrics to a song, a white person can basically say the N-word. But I'm just saying, if she walked in that barbershop and was like, "What's up, my N-words?" it would. I think that would probably rub people the wrong way. Because there's videos of TikTok of, of African Americans that kind of they talk kind of like Urkel. They talk like a white guy, right? And then they say the N-word and it goes viral, and everybody in the chat's like, "Man, he's not allowed to say the N-word." I gotta find the video, but it's
because if you say it like a white dude, it's bad. Or
yes, even though the guy's black in the video saying it, but he says it like Steve Urkel, and everybody's mad.
Do you remember when there was that black radio host who was on an interview, and the woman was like, "Well, you're a white man." He's like,
That was
What?
he's famous. That's Jesse Peterson.
No. This one was. Let me pull this one up.
I've heard that one. I thought that was Jesse Peterson.
Do you like Jesse Lee Peterson?
His content
David
is
Webb.
very interesting. Oh, okay.
A CNN analyst. Let's play it. This is from 2019. Do we have the audio?
Different parts of the media world, done the work so that I'm qualified to be in each one. I never considered my color the issue. I considered my qualifications the issue.
Well, David, that's a whole nother long conversation about white privilege and things that you have the privilege of doing that people of color don't have the privilege of.
How do I
And to
have
answer
the
your-
privilege of white privilege?
David, by virtue of being a white male, you have white privilege. This whole long conversation, I don't have time to get into it.
Ariva, I hate to break it to
You have to
you,
invite-
but you should have been better prepped. I'm black.
Okay, then.
You went to white privilege. This is the falsehood in this. You went immediately with an assumption. Your people, obviously, or you didn't look. You're talking to a black man
They
who
gave you
started
wrong
out in rock
information.
radio in Boston, who crossed the paths into hip hop, rebuilding one of the greatest black stations in America, and went on to work for Fox News, where I'm told apparently blacks aren't supposed to work, but yet you come with this assumption and you go to white privilege.
David,
That's actually
let me correct-
insulting.
It is, and I apologize because my people gave me wrong information. They told me
The
they
whole
sent me
white
information
privilege
about-
thing is
David,
insulting.
can I apologize and correct the record? I want to apologize. I was given wrong information about you, and I apologize.
But based
for that.
on my
So
color, you were going to something that I was part of. And just to add to it, my family background is white, black, Indian, Arawak, Irish, Scottish. I mean, it's so diverse. I'm like the UN when it comes to this. This is part of the problem with driving a narrative around a construct like white privilege. Privilege is one thing. We're applied wealth, economy, various social factors, but not necessarily.
This was huge because it's I mean, another crack in the armor, I suppose, of this false identity ideology that they push, where she didn't actually have an argument against any of his ideas, so she attacked his race. It's racist.
Well, they're racist. I mean, that's when you make everything about race, that's racist. And I think that's just kind of the hypocrisy getting exposed right there. So yeah, I mean, obviously,
I was gonna
the left
say,
is the racist
just
one.
parroting what Alex just said. I don't like to do it, but the media is constantly playing identity politics and talking about race, and I feel like dividing and balkanizing people based on racial identity and other identities, that it then predictably and inexorably leads to situations like this where race is constantly on people's mind because of the media and the far left, and then they start making assumptions based off of that because they can't stop obsessing and thinking about it, and then it leads to situations like this. So I think we should stop obsessing and constantly talking about people's identities, whether they're racial or gender, and I feel like most of the people obsessing and talking about it are on the left and in the media.
I agree. But I mean, every single one of your videos on Instagram is basically talking about your identity.
Again, I like to encourage conversation and dialogue and discourse, so on my Instagram I try to do that, but